Hi everyone, and welcome to the IDFA Natural Physique Show. This is the very first episode. I'm Shaun Campbell. I'm the founder of the IDFA, which is the International Drug-Free Athletics. So please subscribe to this page. I'm going to be doing this on a weekly basis, covering everything from obviously IDFA related topics like the competitions coming up, maybe some contest coverage, contest prep questions, anything related to natural bodybuilding, competing, fitness model, bikini, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so please subscribe to the page so you can keep up to date and comment below. Like obviously it's the first episode, I need your feedback. So comment below, give me ideas what you want me to talk about, maybe what kind of guests you want me to bring on here, what kind of interviews we could do, just content that you guys feel would be valuable. Or if you have any questions about IDFA at all, so please comment below. All your comments will be very helpful, as like I said, this is episode 1. Another thing, just for your feedback as well, should I be wearing like the business casual look, or should I go with my generic IDFA t-shirts? Like, I don't know. I'll put up a picture. So let me know which one you think looks better. Yay or nay? I don't know. Comment below. Okay, so let's talk about how I got involved with natural bodybuilding. Okay, so I got involved through bodybuilding through, I guess I was a small kid. I was like, when I was 14, 15, 16, when I say small, I mean small. When I was in high school in grade 9, there was a weight class for 84 pounds and under. I was in that weight class without even cutting weight. And this is in grade 9, so I was probably 15 years old. I was 80 pounds. So I wasn't 80 pounds because I cut weight or anything like that for a wrestling tournament, blah, blah. I was 80 pounds, that's my natural weight. And I wasn't even that short. Well, I was short, but, but I was 80 pounds naturally. Okay, so I started lifting weights. I didn't know what I was really doing. I started to do the bench press and the curls, just like everyone was doing. But I also got made, but the one good thing is I got made fun of for having skinny legs. Okay, so I actually did do leg extensions and squats. Not that I did them with good technique or anything, but I knew enough that I worked the entire body. I was doing it by accident. I wasn't working the entire body so I'd have perfect symmetry and all these things. I was just working it because everyone was making fun of how skinny I was. So I worked everything. So I wanted to, I don't know, just be bigger, right? Okay, and that's what most people, a lot of people get in there, it's for vanity. A lot of people start this for vanity. But once you get older and older, it's tough to keep going with only vanity, right? So yeah, I started that age, so around 16 years old. And then I started reading all the muscle mags. So there's Muscle Mag, I guess like literally it was called Muscle Mag, based out of Mississauga, right? So literally I was reading all the muscle mags I could. I was seeing all the pro bodybuilders. Obviously they weren't natural. So I never even thought ever I was going to look like them or compete or anything like that. I was trying to look like them, sure. But I mean, I never even thought ever that I would compete. Didn't enter my mind actually. And that's all the way through the 80s and 90s, right? So this is all the way like my teens, my early 20s. I never thought about competing. This wasn't something I could do. Like, look at me. I'm like, the biggest I ever got to back then was like 140 pounds. Like my goal was as a full-grown adult was to break 140 pounds. Just to show you the size, what we're working with here. So my goal was to break 140 pounds. But, okay. So in doing this, I started going to supplement stores and I was buying the protein powders, the creatine, the glutamine, all the stuff they sell for kids trying to get bigger, right? And at the supplement store that I was going to, well, I found another supplement store, and at the supplement store I went to, there was a bunch of these guys who competed, and they competed in natural bodybuilding shows. And this is probably around 97, 98. So obviously I was curious. Okay, I started asking them a lot of questions. Like, okay, these guys do it. Because by that point I started understanding, I heard about steroids and all this stuff. So when I heard there's guys doing this naturally, obviously I'm going to take all the information they give me and I'm going to live by it because I'm not finding information anywhere else, right? And there was no internet back then. You couldn't log in or Google search or all this stuff. You didn't have access to the information like we do now. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I would just pick their brain. Every time I come in, I'd buy the protein powder in buckets like this. It wasn't a protein powder, it was like the weight gain. And I'm not even joking, they sold it in 25-pound tubs. And I don't take weight gainers anymore because I understand that it's better to eat real food and all that kind of stuff. So currently all I take is protein powder, like a whey protein powder, creatine, glutamine. So yeah, I would pick their brains and I would like ask them stuff about, they give me information about training, because I was like a pretty good customer of theirs, right? So they give me information about dieting and all that kind of stuff, because these guys compete in shows. So I was getting pretty good first-hand knowledge from these guys. And then I'd also, through them, found out about the magazine called Natural, I think it was called Natural Bodybuilding. It's a Natural Bodybuilding magazine, right? So I actually, through them, this is back when people had subscriptions to magazines and stuff, right? I got a subscription to Natural Bodybuilding magazine. So I'd get it, I think that was coming out almost every month or every other month. But then you're getting information from like a Natural Bodybuilding magazine with like natural pros giving advice on dieting, competing, training, peak week, all these things. So yeah, I was getting all this good information from them, and I would ask the guys every time I went in there about natural bodybuilding. And some of these guys are very successful. I'm seeing all these trophies, I'm seeing these pictures. I'm like really starting to get interested in what they're doing here. They told me about these natural bodybuilding shows they competed in. And they'd always go out to the States to compete. Because I guess there was something that wasn't very popular in Canada, right? I guess in the US they're doing this natural bodybuilding movement. And they're drug testing and everything. So it's like, okay, I'm really interested. So they tell me they go to Buffalo, and these guys are going as far as California to compete. And I was born and raised, like, at that time I was living in London, Ontario, which is not even that far from Buffalo. I mean, it was like a 2-hour drive, maybe even less. So I said, okay, tell me more about this Buffalo show. Like, I wanted to think, oh yeah, there's a Buffalo show, and it's coming up soon. This is probably around I'm guessing around 1998. So I said, okay, I'm going to go to Buffalo, and I'm going to check out this show, because I want to see what it takes, or what these shows are all about. You can see pictures all you want, but I want to see a show. And I recommend anyone, if you're thinking about ever competing in a natural physique, bodybuilding, fitness, any competition, go watch a show. And preferably come check out an IDFA show, of course. But yeah, so I went and checked out the show. And when I'm there, I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I think I can do this. Because I'm thinking, okay, I've seen these guys are overly big, because it's drug-free. Their conditioning is on, like this. It's all about conditioning, symmetry, proportions, and posing and presentation, all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, that's stuff that I've got. I don't have size, but I've got all those attributes, I think, based on what I think I look like. So I decided, okay, I'm going to just see for myself if I can do this. I'm going to get all the information I can, and I'm going to do a mock competition. So I'm going to like start getting myself ready for these shows on my own, just to see if I can do it. And then I'm going to take pictures and everything, and just see where I stand, and if it's something that I can do. So the mock prep, basically, I've been putting on weight and all this kind of stuff, trying to get bigger all this time, right? So I had a contest prep. So I took all the information I got from the magazines, from these guys, and they even gave me like sample workouts they did and everything. They really helped me out a lot. So I followed their diets and everything, and I adjusted it accordingly to what I read, blah, blah, blah. So I did a contest prep. And everything went well. I was really strict to it. I practiced the posing, all that kind of stuff, like as if I was really serious. Like I was getting ready, like I was going to be on stage. So at the end of the prep, I had like a date set where this would be my end date, and I took photos. I went out in the natural sun, because I think I got information about that from the Arnold Schwarzenegger Encyclopedia, I believe, or somewhere. about how to take great photos, so using sunlight. So I even like figured out when the sun was at the right height, blah blah blah, to take the best pictures. So I did a photo shoot. I still got the pictures here. I probably should pull them out, but it's I was shredded, but I was really small. But yeah, so I got really shredded. I said, okay, based on these pictures, I know I can compete with what I saw the year prior in Buffalo, New York on stage. So I decided, okay, I'm entering the show. This time next year, which would have been, so we're in 1999, so in 2000, I'm entering a show. I'm entering the NGA Can-Am Championships. And I'm going to enter as a novice, because novice was for new competitors. And they would have, hopefully they have weight classes, because I know I'm not that big of a guy, so they end up having a novice lightweight class. So I prepared, I got ready, I was feeling really good. I practiced my posing a lot. I actually found a local guy at the gym who competed before. He didn't do natural shows, but he had contest experience knowing how to do the mandatories. So it doesn't matter whether you're natural or not, mandatory posing is the same, and stage presentation is the same. So he really helped me out a lot with that, and we went over it, and he gave me a lot of good little tips and pointers, and I practiced posing probably more for that show than I've ever done ever, and I've done a lot of shows since. So I was really stage ready when it came to presentation, and I couldn't have been any more shredded for this show either. When I showed up, I was shredded. But when I'm backstage at the show in Buffalo, I'm feeling good about myself, but then I started seeing these guys pumping up, and I said, and then there's my weight class. They're all backstage. There's 7 of us. And these guys are pumping up, lifting the weights, and their arms are huge. So I'm looking at these guys, oh my God, they're a lot bigger than me. But as we know now, how you look backstage does not matter whatsoever. All that really matters is what you look like on stage. So by the time we got on stage, I still didn't know that I was where I stood. Like, I'm thinking, oh my God, these guys look insane. Like, I'm gonna probably, my goal is just if I please make top 3. I just want to, because back in the wrestling days they say you want to come home with some hardware. So I wanted to come home with some hardware. I want a trophy in my hand. And I think at this show there's top 3 get trophies. I wanted a trophy. I'd almost get my mind given up on first and seconds. I saw these guys pumping up. I was like, oh my God, these guys are huge. So yeah, so in my mind I'm thinking, okay, give me that 3rd place trophy. I want that 3rd place trophy. It's my first show. I want to come home with a trophy. Okay, so we're at pre-judging. We're doing the judging rounds. We're going through all the mandatories. I'm feeling really good because I know I put in the work. When it comes to posing, I knew that's a strong point of mine. I have good stage presence. I feel very comfortable on stage. So we're going through all the posing. Then when I come off stage and we're backstage, people were telling me, oh my God, man, I think you took this. I'm like, what? Like I'm not even expecting, I'm thinking, there's no way. I saw those 2 guys that I'm thinking for sure place higher than me. And then, no, you really looked awesome out there. I'm like, okay. So, but when I saw the pictures, it was like, it was starting to be clear that maybe I did win this. Because when it came to the presentation, to my luck, I guess you'd say, to their misfortune, but my fortune, their presentation was, I don't want to say terrible, but terrible. Like these guys, like I wish I had pictures of the mandatory poses, like the mandatory posing round. Like every pose they did, it's like they put 0 effort into it, or they weren't. Like if you're going to be in a bodybuilding, okay, there's one thing you got to do. Prepare for it, sure, the diet. But there's only, other than that, the only requirements of the sport is to know the mandatory poses that you're going to do on stage. I'm not going to say I nailed them, but I nailed these poses, right? Like I went through every single pose. Like I went through that stuff. I practiced that stuff so much. And not just practice it, practice it to master it. Like I wanted to, like every little detail showed on my physique, every cross striation, all that kind of stuff. And I made sure that I got it right. Like I took pictures of my posing practices. I pictures from the front, from the back. I even went, like I said, I knew the guy that helped me with the posing. I would meet with him even like at the gym. I'd show up early at the gym to go for workouts to go through posing. And he would do that on his, like he went out of his way to help me with that. So posing is what I won the show. So I just blew the ending, right? So I did win the show. So I took the novice lightweight title out of 7 guys, my very first show. And I would definitely say it's due to posing. Obviously I was prepared. The condition was there, the symmetry, the proportions. I'm not the biggest guy. I will never go to a show where I will be the biggest guy on stage. That is not going to happen. But what I do have control over is I present myself the best, and I come in the best shape I possibly can be. Like I come in as lean as I possibly can, as symmetrical as I possibly can, and I pose the best I possibly can. These are all I have control over. I'm always going to be one of the smaller guys on stage. So yeah, so I ended up taking first place. So that's what really got me hooked. And then I competed a few more times. I did the open division. I went to a show in Rochester, and the open division was really strong, and I ended up getting second there. So I'm like, okay, that was like maybe the following year, because back then you didn't compete as often. It's almost like you geared up and competed once a year. But for this show, there's a show weeks later, so I got second in the open class there, in my open class. And then I went and did another show 2 weeks later, and then I ended up getting first. By winning my class at that show, getting first, I earned a pro card. So I got my first, it was an NGA Natural Pro card. So I became a pro bodybuilder. So I'm pretty excited about that, and so I gear up for like the next, well, wrong choice of words, not gear up. I prepared, sorry. I prepared for my first natural pro show, which is going to be in Buffalo, New York, where like I said, a lot of the natural bodybuilding shows were in Buffalo, New York. It was really popular at the time. So I did a pro show in 2000, either it's 2001 or 2002. I think it was the fall of 2001. I did my first natural pro show. I trained like that, like a maniac. I did everything right. I came in the best shape I've ever come in. I was feeling really good. I was shredded. Like, people that know me and that competed, when I say cross striations, it was pretty crazy. Like, I wasn't the biggest guy, but the shredded factor I was known for. So I came in like best shape possible. And I'm backstage, I'm actually still feeling pretty good, because I'm seeing these guys, they look kind of like they weren't in condition to me, right? But it's because I've never seen genetic freaks like this before. I didn't realize these massive guys, because their muscle mass was so big that it looked soft. But when they contracted, it was a whole different story. So let's just say there were 7 guys in the pro show. 7. We were backstage. I'm not feeling that bad. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can beat out a few of these guys and squeak in like a 5th or a 4th or something like that, because I knew the other guys were nuts. But then we got on stage, when I started seeing them practicing their mandatory poses backstage, I said, oh my God, I'm in real trouble. Like, I kind of knew before I went out on stage that I was in a whole different level, and I wasn't at this level. So it was very discouraging backstage, and then when on stage, I still posed my heart out. I tried my best. I didn't give up. Like, I went out there with confidence. Well, at least I looked like I had confidence. But I got 7th out of 7, and I fully deserved 7th out of 7. These guys were a whole different level, right? And then after that, I almost feel a little discouraged. After this, I didn't compete for years, because I didn't know what to do. So I thought, okay, I got to the next level, but I don't even belong here. Like I'm competing against guys with a whole different ballgame. And there's no weight class here, and I'm a small guy, so, but I'm not making excuses on the weight class. It wasn't that, they were just outclassed me big time. So I kind of soul searched as far as what I want to do with natural bodybuilding. Where am I going to go from here? And I just started thinking, okay, I want to be more involved. I want to do something more. So whether or not I got my ass kicked in this last show, I still love natural bodybuilding. I still compete in I still want to compete. I still train hard. I do the best I can with what I've got. I know I'm not genetically gifted, obviously. But I have the passion and desire and the love for training and competing and all that kind of stuff. So I just started thinking, what could I do? Like, what's next? And I want to be involved in natural bodybuilding, but I want to be involved more than I am. So I decided, okay, I'm always going to the States to compete in natural bodybuilding. How about I bring a show here? It sounded like a crazy idea. I had no idea what it's going to take. But I decided, okay, I'm going to have a natural bodybuilding show in Canada, in Toronto, in 2005. So this is by like 3 to 4 years after I got my ass handed to me on stage in the pro show. So I decided, okay, I made some connections with people. I know a lot of the guys who compete and all this kind of stuff. And I was really gung-ho about promotion. Like, I was really excited to promote. So I was a good promoter back then. So I was telling everybody about this show. So I'm running and I called it the Canadian Classic. So I ran the first show in October 2005, the Canadian Classic. I did have some good support around me, helping me out, getting the show started, all that kind of stuff. But you find out quickly there's a lot to learn when it comes to promoting. Not just the promotion part. I said I was doing really good at telling people about the show and that, but I wasn't even thinking about how do you organize a show? What do you do when people are actually there for this show? So I got a real wake-up call on how to organize a show. I had a lot of excitement around me because of how I was promoting it, and I had the posters out and all this kind of stuff, and no one's really doing this much in Canada. There was one organization at the time that was really big, but they're starting to fall off around 2005, 6, 7, 8 type thing. And they were big at the time, yeah, they were a really big organization, but they were the only real competition for natural bodybuilding for me to worry about basically in Canada. So I was kind of one of the trailblazers, or whatever they call it, when someone who starts things out for natural bodybuilding in Canada. Okay, so we got 4 shows left for the year in the IDFA. We've got October 5th in Montreal, always an awesome show. Montreal brings out some amazing competitors. We got November 16th in Calgary, another amazing show. Always get a great support out there. We've been doing shows in Calgary for many years, maybe 8, 9 years. November 24th, we're in British Columbia and North Vancouver. This is always, I love going to BC, so we always have a good time over there. The show is slowly getting bigger and bigger, so please give us support out in BC. We're trying to really grow this out there. And then we end the season off with December 7th, the IDFA Universe, which is always our biggest show of the year. We get a great response from that show, and it's a great way to end the year. It's in Mississauga. And that's the 15th annual show. So that kind of has a big significance as our 15th year of running that show. And that's the one where I was talking about back in 2005, was the Canadian Classic, but it's over time developed, and now the name is the IDFA Universe. So it's the IDFA 143 Universe. And just a little side note, when I call these shows like IDFA 143, that's significant for the 143rd show that we've ever run with the IDFA. I kind of got that idea from, I saw UFC and they always put a number on it. And it kind of like the UFC 241, so you know it's like the 241 main event, UFC main event, right? So yeah, so anytime you see like IDFA 135 or IDFA 136, that's how many shows up until that point we've had. Just a little side note. So if you're looking to compete or you're thinking about competing, I would definitely suggest you checking out one of these shows. You can get all the information you need at IDFA.ca. Also comment below. Is there any questions you have about competing or how to get started, all that kind of stuff, or stuff we should talk about in future episodes? Because like I said, I'm going to do these episodes every week, and I'm going to get more content, give more information to people, and educate more people about what natural bodybuilding is, how to get into it, more than just promoting my shows. But honestly, you're going to have to sit through me promoting the IDFA through these episodes. So bear with me. It's what I do. This is my living. I'm a promoter. So yeah, so check it out. Like I said, we're ending the year off with 4 shows. October 5th in Montreal, November 16th in Calgary, November 24th in North Vancouver, and December 7th in Mississauga. So come check out the shows. Go to IDFA.ca. Subscribe to this page because we're going to build this up to something special. And comment below. I appreciate you checking out the video. My name's Shaun Campbell. I'll see you on stage. Thank you.